You don't want to follow Iifym Fish or macros when it comes to actually losing body fat. It sucks. It's trash, right? And I'm here to tell you why. For me and you, right? For me and you, people like me and you, people who just have a hard time with putting the fork down. You know, you'll basically just start eating, and it's hard for you to stop, right? So in this case, right, for me and you, for us, right, we want to eat a diet that's higher in protein and higher in fiber, right? That's going to actually cause us to get fuller really fast and to put the fork down to stop eating, right? So I say Iifym Fish or macros is complete bullshit and it's complete trash when actually losing body fat, because number one, you're not getting in enough protein by doing this. Yes, I know it's fun. It seems really cool because you get to eat Pop-Tarts and jelly worms and honey buns and cookies and stuff like that and Rice Krispie treats all day, right? But the thing is that the reward system in our brains, right? So when we're eating this stuff, it's going to be hard for us to stop. Number one, because the food, like that type of food, that junk food is very, very low in volume. Very low in volume, which is going to be actually pretty terrible for fat loss because it's not going to get you full, right? The primary goal is to stay full on the least amount of calories possible. But by you eating these foods, you know, honey buns, cookies, and stuff like that, pretty much these companies engineered these products, right? These foods to be so good and so addicting to where as soon as you start eating it, it's damn near impossible for you to stop, right? So if you're tracking your calories, right? If you're doing Iifym Fish or macros and you're eating cookies and honey buns all day, right? You're not going to be full, and if anything, you're actually going to want to overeat because, like I said, these companies has engineered these products to be highly addictive. You know what I mean? So so it's not going to keep you full. Number one, when you're not full, you're more than likely going to go and overeat and binge on other things because the reason why most people fail on most diets is because of hunger. That's the number one reason why people fail with fat loss is because of hunger. So with Iifym Fish or macros, hunger. You're always going to be hungry. You're not going to be getting enough protein to actually build muscle and to actually keep muscle. When you actually have a lot more muscle mass, number one, your metabolism is going to be higher, which is going to give you a lot more energy, you know, to do your cardio, to go lift weights, you know, to feel just a lot better in general. Does that make sense? So if you're not getting enough protein, especially while you're in a deficit, now you're prone to actually lose a lot more muscle, right? You're gonna feel like crap. Your metabolism is gonna be shit, and you're not gonna have any energy to do anything, you know. And then on top of that, right, you're not getting in enough protein. You're always gonna have cravings when you don't take in the adequate amount of protein for your body. You actually crave a lot more food. Protein keeps you satiated. Protein keeps you very, very full. The more protein you actually eat, right? If you're on a higher protein diet, you're actually going to be more consistent with that versus the Iifym Fish or macros. Because this over here, the higher protein diet is going to keep you fuller. You know, the diet that's full of fresh, good fresh fruits, loads of vegetables, lean cuts of meats, good complex carbs. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, like just Iifym Fish or macros, yes, it is calories in versus calories out. You have to be in a caloric deficit. No matter what you eat, as long as you stay in a deficit, yeah, you will lose body fat. But Iifym Fish or macros just isn't very optimal. It's not optimal for your performance. It's not optimal for fat loss. Because once again, I'm gonna keep saying it until I get this shit to be burned into your brain. It's not going to keep you full. It's not sustainable. Right? Yes, you'll lose body fat. But you know what else? Guess what? Now, tomorrow or today, you're gonna feel like crap. Even if you are in that deficit eating this stuff, you're gonna feel like crap because it's filled with loads of sugars, Loads of carbs. Stuff that's gonna have your insulin spiking up and down, up and down. When your insulin is being spiked like this up and down all day, right? You're gonna be a lot more moody. You're gonna have mood swings, right? And your energy is pretty much gonna be up and down. Because guess what? When your insulin spikes, now it has to come back below baseline. It comes back below baseline, and that's why you feel very tired and or sluggish and or lethargic when you do eat these highly palatable processed foods. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't believe in Iifym fish or macros. Will it work for some people? Yes. But like I said, for me and you, the most optimal diet for fat loss, because we're big eaters, right? We're big eaters. We love to eat. And it's hard for us to stop eating, right? Is the high protein diet. The diet that's higher in protein and higher in fiber. Lean meats, lean cuts of meats, fruits, vegetables, right? Very low in calories. You can eat a ton of it. It's going to keep you full throughout the day. And that's what you want. That's what the body wants. The body doesn't want jelly beans. I mean, it does want the jelly beans and stuff like that, but it's going to make you feel like crap. And you're not going to be able to stick to the diet whatsoever. You're not going to be able to stick to it long term. Trust me. So, yeah, that's why I say Iifym fish or macros is complete trash. That's my view on it. That's my view on it. And like I said, for some people it may work, but I know for like if you're watching me right now, if you're watching this video right now, you know exactly how it feels to always be hungry. And that's what I'm saying. For me and you, it's not gonna work out. That's why I don't do it. You know, that's why I don't do it. And if anything, I look a lot better now. You know, I look a lot better now doing a higher protein, higher fiber, fruits, vegetables. You see what I'm saying? And I feel better. You know, my skin looks a lot better. Versus a long time ago when I actually did do Iifym fish or macros. And guess what? I was always breaking out, because that's another thing with this junk food. You know, fitting in these junk foods and eating this stuff all day like that. It's gonna cause you to break out more. Why? Because your insulin is spiking. When your insulin spikes like that constantly, your body produces something called your body produces more of something called sebum. And sebum is pretty much like the oils that your skin naturally produces, right? So you're constantly eating this junk food all day. Your body is producing more and more and more sebum because your insulin is being spiked. And now your skin just looks a lot older, looks more wrinkled and just a lot more puffy and inflamed. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's why I say Iifym fish or macros I really don't believe in it at all for fat loss. But if it does work for you, if you are doing Iifym fish or macros and it's working for you and you're actually making progress with it and you can stick to it long term, do it. But this is for the majority. This is for me, like I say, me and you, the big eaters. The big eaters don't do Iifym fish or macros. Trust me, don't do it. But I hope I really explained that well. But I'm about to be out here, man. But hey, it's your boy Iifym Z Troxler. Also, drop a like on the video. That's free. Drop a like, show some love. But hey, it's your boy Iifym Z Troxler, and I'm out of here. Peace.